Welcome to the BOBCAST. We're coming to you today from our wonderful LaPorte office. We're here to talk about the Corporate Transparency Act. Now, I know, what in the world are we talking about? Well, the Corporate Transparency Act is something that got passed and put into law, and we all hoped it was sort of going to keep getting delayed because it's a little bit cumbersome. Now, it's governed or managed or overseen by the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. The acronym for it is FinCEN. So we have the CTA for the Corporate Transparency Act, and we have FinCEN. Any of you moviegoers probably recognize the reference to FinCEN. That was the governmental agency that J.K. Simmons played in the movie The Accountant with Ben Affleck. FinCEN is in the process of issuing and updating these reporting requirements, and it's referencing beneficial ownership information reporting. It's going to apply to many small businesses. In fact, FinCEN anticipates receiving over 32 million filings during 2024. So, Tony, who is required to file?
So, if your business is registered with the Secretary of State as a business when it was formed, you may be a reporting company. So, in most cases, the following entities had to register with the Secretary of State. So, a corporation, whether you are taxed as a C corporation or an S corporation, or a limited liability company, which usually is either taxed as a partnership or an S corporation.
Are there any exclusions out there?
There are, and we encourage you to go to FinCEN.gov for some wonderful reading material about who is excluded.
Well, Tony, what's the effective date of this new act?
So the effective date is January 1st, 2024. So if you were registered to do business prior to December 31st, 2023, you have until January 1st, 2025 to complete the filing. However, if you're lucky enough to start a company in January of 2024, you had 30 days to file the form with FinCEN, even though there is a proposal to make it 90 days.
Wow. So if you're thinking of starting a company, you probably want to get it done before December 31st, 2023, and at least have a little bit of time to make sure you can put all this information together that the government's going to want you to report on their form. Now, the form is not yet done. And we're less than 2.5 months away from the end of the year when reporting has to start, but they don't have the forms done. And part of that is because they said they won't accept anything before January 1st, 2024. So, Tony, what if we just decide not to do it? What happens?
Well, there are some substantial penalties involved. So there's a $500 per day, up to $10,000 payment amount for not filing. And also you could potentially wear a nice orange jumpsuit because you could spend 2 years in jail.
And I don't look good in orange. So who is a beneficial owner?
It is someone that exercises substantial control over the company. So for an example, any officers or board of directors, or anybody that owns 25% or more of the company, which includes indirect ownership, such as holding companies.
So, summarizing it then, if you can influence a company's decisions, whether you're an owner or not, there's a chance that your information is going to need to be reported by the company when they file the form with FinCEN. And that's an important distinction. At this time, as we understand it, it is the company's obligation to file.
Correct.
Well, Tony, why are they doing this to us? I mean, it's not like the government doesn't ask us to file enough forms, and everyone's been getting those wonderful census forms to fill out that they all love. So what's the purpose of another act that we got to do?
Well, the main purpose is to assist law enforcement in identifying criminal transactions being run through various enterprises set up as small businesses. So basically, they want to stop money laundering, and so they're hoping by having people register all their business activity ownership that they'll be able to track down more criminals.
So essentially, they're going to be creating a national database that's going to be available to law enforcement that they can cross-reference if they're doing a criminal investigation into an individual, perhaps what other entities they may have invested in that they need to look into.
Correct.
So it's for money laundering, probably the funding of terrorism, hiding money and assets, all those various things that the Treasury Department does not want you to do.
Exactly. And also to find out any kind of foreign ownership that you have. So if money is being brought in from different countries that they want to know.
Yeah. So it's a very expanded act. And there's a lot more to it than just what we covered in this highlight. Our goal is just to put it on everybody's radar. And we would encourage you to go to FinCEN.gov, as we identified earlier, to look at the information that's out there. Download the Small Business Guide. Have walked through it. It's some very good questions and answer information to help you figure out if you're going to be a reporting entity. Now, here's the bad news for us, for a lot of our clients. We know that you guys utilize us to help with a lot of these things. At this time, there's a lot of uncertainty about whether or not CLH would be able to assist, because the consensus right now is this form is a component of a legal requirement. Unlike many of the things that we're able to do on your behalf with the Internal Revenue Service and other agencies, this is one that is not specifically carved out to allow CPAs and CPA firms to be able to assist with that information. So we would encourage you to start talking to your attorney to see that they have the information they need. Again, a lot of information is still unknown, and we'll be providing some additional updates and additional information as that comes to our attention and as we have a time to review it. But for now, check out FinCEN.gov, start reviewing the information, and determine whether or not you are a reporting company to have to do this filing. All right, until the next time we speak, have a great day.